The board game industry is in shambles right now. One of the biggest board game influencers has just dropped a kind of a nuclear bomb on someone most people considered was his friend. See, Rodney Smith from Watch It Played runs a channel called Watch It Played, and he teaches people how to play the game. He's one of the best in the industry. But over the past several years, he started to hire or at least collaborate with people to add more content to the channel. And in doing so, they've grown and made a name for these people, and they become household names in the board game realm. Well, we were all a little surprised when Rodney Smith released this video here. This video talked about how his friend and coworker, his collaborating partner, Chaz Marler, was doing something that he himself, Rodney, disapproved of. And we'll get into it a little bit and try to see what kind of the both sides of the argument could potentially be. And I'd be interested to hear what you guys think of this in the end. So, Rodney Smith here, he has ended ties with Chaz Marler from Game Night Picks, formerly Paradise, because Chaz Marler was using YouTube ads to inflate his numbers. Now, I don't know how else you say that without it sounding bad, but let me put this into perspective, guys. I just discovered YouTube ads and I started to use them. So I'm a little interested when he had an issue with Chaz Marler using these because, as far as I know, these YouTube ads are not bots. The subscribers you get from the YouTube ads are actually subscribers of people who actually wanted to watch your product. The viewers are people who actually at least hovered over and watched your like longer than 30-second clip. So I am a little unsure of why anybody would have an issue using that function. Now, if you're telling me that the subscribers I'm getting from the YouTube ads are bots, then don't we actually have an issue with YouTube and their deceptive practices? Because I've paid real money to advertise on YouTube and I was under the impression that these were real people. So I wanted to give that little context there to show you guys that Rodney Smith is essentially calling out Chaz Mahler for doing the same thing. And is it fair? I don't entirely know. But if you haven't seen the video yet, it is unlisted. So Rodney did not want to, monetize this. He didn't want to get paid for this. He did this as a call to the industry to let the industry know that he did not do this practice of using YouTube ads and YouTube viewers. Now, I'm going to read the linked document that Rodney Smith had attached to his video to give us a little bit more context on what his former partner and friend was doing. All right, so he is. I'm writing to bring your attention to the advertising practices used by the owner of the YouTube channel Game Night Picks, previously known as Paradise. Early in 2025, the owner of Game Picks adopted a per view fee structure for ads sold on their channel. This meant that the cost to the publisher for running an ad was based on how many views the video received over a fixed period. Typically, Game Night Picks videos would receive 1 to 3,000 views. But from November to December, when he used this YouTube advertising features, the 20 videos published during this period immediately averaged 36,000 views per video. This was a significant increase from his 1 to 3,000 views he organically received. And down here, he shows a chart that, by the way, the only reason he has this chart is because he was a collaborator with Chaz Marler. So he was actually able to see the Chaz Marler's statistics and his analytics as well, which the fact that he even screenshotted those and shared those publicly does seem a little like, whew, that's a little intrusive, I think. Maybe not. But I mean, when I saw that, I was immediately like, ugh, I hope he had some kind of permission to do that. I don't know. But he says to help you unpack this and why this is impactful. If, and that's an if, so he's not saying that this is what Game Night Picks charge, but if Game Night Picks charged a publisher 4 cents per view on a video normally receiving 3,000 views, that would result in $120 added to the cost charged to the publisher for their ad. If the video receives 36,000 views instead, the ad charge to the publisher becomes $1,400. So that you can see is a significant increase. But he's saying that all of those, the majority of those views fall off after 30 seconds. So what the publishers are actually paying for does not cover the views that you see displayed. So like if you look at any of my videos now, you'll see that they do not get a lot of views at all. But that's all the publishers can see. They don't see how long people are actually watching the video. Now, I will say this, now that I've been a YouTuber for several years, I kind of get this practice. I understand that views drop off really quick. So if you see a video that has like 3,000 views, there's a really good chance that only 300 of those people are actually watching your video from start to finish. It's just the nature of the game. People want to move on. They listen to what you have to say, they're not interested, and they move on to the next one. Now, if you are a publisher and you are paying somebody based on their views, I feel like it's a little bit your responsibility to know that that is how YouTube works, right? That not all those views actually equate to actual watches. So when someone says, I'm going to charge you 4 cents per view, I'm assuming that means you would understand that only 30% or less are actually going to see your ad read. And that's why 4 cents is a good price. I don't know. I've never sold an ad. We were too small to even consider that personally. But just from my understanding, I don't understand how an advertiser wouldn't know that. And if they don't know that, that's kind of on them, I would imagine, right? Like, because you got to do research. Like Chaz Marler isn't saying, I'm going to give this person this price and this person this price. He has a price and you either agree to it or you don't. And if you don't understand the analytics, then that's kind of you for not, for valuing something you don't have a full understanding of. So like I am a little torn on this. Like, is this actually Chaz Marler's fault that he's using legitimate YouTube baked in statistics and features to increase his views, which I feel like he believes is organic because it's real people. And again, if it's not real people watching this and real people subscribing to his channel, then sue YouTube. And I'm sure we're not the only ones using this. Like, I'm sure there are other people out there using this as well. And if these are fake, well, then they're fake. But what they say, everything on the internet is fake. So maybe we just all understand this and we pay it anyways, because I don't know, the 15% of people who actually watch my video or Chaz Marler's videos from start to finish are dedicated enough that they might support the company that we're advertising. So they're worth advertising on there regardless. So, but anyways, I want to show, we'll keep looking at Rodney Smith's document that he shared here, and he was going to show how this is the analytics that you see. This is called the engagement window essentially, and it shows that really quickly within 30 seconds most of those views drop off to where only 3% of the people are watching. But 3% of 34,000 is what? I'm not really good at mental math, guys, so help me out here. But maybe it's comparable to what his actual audience is. But by using these views and these subscriber advertisements, he's not organically, he's throwing the videos in front of people, but he's boosting those numbers for future videos. So again, I'm not entirely sure how this is a negative, other than the reach is the same, but he's charging more. But again, you should understand how the views on things work. So here is an example of Rodney Smith. He says this is an average usage chart. And I don't know if this is from his channel or from Game Night's channel. But you can see here that, he almost has a 50% retention rate. So I do want to show you guys in comparison to a small channel, one that's still very much growing, our channel, and what this kind of looks like. And I'm going to show you guys when we used YouTube ads and YouTube advertisements, what it looked like for us. So first of all, this is our Rajas of the Ganges episode, just normal episode, got about 300 views or whatever. And then this is what we are looking at here. We had about 30% of our audience who watched the majority of it, and that's pretty normal for us under 30%. Um, and this video is actually a little above what is normal, because you can see the thick gray bar here is what is normal. The blue bar is what this video actually received. So people actually stuck around for this one. But now let's look at the one that I have actually used the advertisement for, the YouTube advertisement. And as you can see, we got like 1,000 views on this one. So it's skyrocketed. But yes, we did lose a large percentage. This is what's normal, but then this video actually went below normal. So like even less people watched it than what they normally do, which is kind of interesting. Maybe we're just in an off season. I know I try to stay off YouTube nowadays because, you know, things are getting crazy out there. So maybe just less people are watching it, or maybe people are realizing, you know, this around the board, maybe they're just not worth watching. I don't know. But you can kind of see here how this video did differently. But now this is a percentage. So when 30% of 100 viewers are watching, that's 30 people, and that's how long they're watching. But now when 30% of 1,000 people are watching, that's 300. So actually we're at like 10% of those 1,000. So that's 100 people watching. So maybe that's actually more. See, we have more viewers actually watching. If my math is correct, don't quote me on it, but I do believe we are getting actual, while the percentages are different, the views have actually increased. So that's actually something interesting that just kind of occurred to me right now. Now I want to show you guys what YouTube advertisement actually looks like. So I will say I recently tried to reactivate one and it actually cleared it out completely. So that kind of sucked and it wiped this out. But I wanted to show you there are two ways you can use YouTube ads. You can use it as this one right here as an actual ad. So I made the commercial. If you guys haven't seen our Around the Board commercial, you should check it out and then like share it with people if you actually like our show, because it does a really good job in 1 minute to explain what the show is about. But this one I haven't touched, and I have another month on this left, and I've already got 146 views for it, but I've got 77 subscribers. I think that's a really good number, especially for our channel, because that means 77 people have decided, you know, I'm actually really intrigued by this concept, so I'm going to subscribe. So if we go back to what Rodney Smith shared, he complained about the subscribers too. He says the YouTube advertising feature can also be used to pay Google to provide a channel with new subscribers. Subscriber growth at Game Night Picks was about 200 per month until October 2025. The YouTube advertisement feature was then utilized to grow its subscriber base by over 140,000 followers in 2 months. Again, those are advertisements that are placed in front of people. Those aren't 140,000 bots. Those are actual people. And again, if they are bots, that is an issue with YouTube. And then YouTube should be held accountable for selling bots and not telling anybody that they're bots. So am I too, like, I don't know, agreeable to trustworthy? Maybe. But I do find that if a big corporation like YouTube was literally selling bots and didn't tell people that that's what they were buying, I feel like that's a class action lawsuit that should just tank them, because I mean, how much money are they taking from people like me who are just like, here's $50, let's see what I can do with it. But even worse, people like Chaz Marler, who probably paid a whole bunch. He paid a lot more than $50 to get to 140,000 subscribers. I guarantee it. So while, and then this is the graph that shows the growth on the board game nights and how you can see it really went up really, really, really quick. So is there initially anything wrong with that? I don't think so. I think it's advertisement. And again, I've said it 1,000 times, so I won't say it again, but it's advertisement. And if YouTube is the issue, then it's on YouTube, not Chaz Marler. He then goes on to show that his growth is organic. His YouTube search, the videos are found by YouTube search by 40%. External things like Board Game Geek is 17, browser feature 15, and so forth. So you see that he is not using ads, which that's what I find actually really interesting about this, is that the whole reason Rodney Smith made this, other than him feeling like it was a little bit deceptive, is he was afraid it would reflect on him. So after having a conversation with Chaz Marler, he got out in front of what he thought would be a PR mess and said, listen, I do not do this practice. Now, this is another thing that we need to look at. Rodney Smith's model is a lot different than a Chaz Marler or even like a Dice Tower or Secret Cabal or anything like that. Rodney Smith literally charges people, publishers, to teach their game. His content is not review, it is not entertainment, it is how to teach, how to play this game. It is incredibly important for Rodney Smith to be like, this is how many people watch my how to play videos so that I can teach how to play your game. And you should pay me several $1,000s to do that. That is incredibly important for him to say, like, I am different. But Chaz Marler is not that. He is an entertainer. He has uh, videos about, playing extreme Jenga and talking about the top 10 hotness on Board Game Geek. He's just an informative guy. He is not, or an entertainer. He is not someone who is actually doing a service for the company. So I think that's something else that you have to take into consideration. Maybe this would be inappropriate for Rodney Smith to do because it doesn't matter if he is promoting how to play Rajas of the Ganges, because if extra people watched it, yeah, that would be completely pointless to the publisher because those aren't real views. Like they weren't actually interested in Rajas of the Ganges. But someone just clicking on Chaz Marler's video, I feel like has a lot more like, this is something that I can be intrigued by. And then they watch and they go, maybe not, I'm out. But like, do they keep clicking it? He said several of his videos over this several month period had increased views. So is the same person going back to it going, is this one good? Is this one good? Is this one good? Or are these completely new people and you're being thrown into a pool of actual gamers and you will actually get some followers from that pool? And that's personally how I see it. So I don't know. I'm just incredibly fascinated by this. I am torn on who is in the right and who is in the wrong. But I will say this: I love content creators on the internet. I'm just a fanboy. What can I say? That's one of the reasons I did this, is because I kind of want to get to know these people. I want to be a content creator too. I want to get to know people out there. I want to get to know you, the viewer. This is why I'm in the board game industry or hobby, period, is because I get to hang out with so many different people and encounter people that I normally wouldn't. And I find that immensely rewarding. I find it so rewarding. So yes, I really like Rodney Smith. I really like Chaz Marler. I also really enjoy the other people that are on the show with them. Actually, like, Paula and Matt actually more than the other two personally. But I feel like this was a nuclear bomb, and what's most painful about it is that these people seem to be friends. They definitely run in the same circle, and I don't know what this is gonna look like, and I think it's gonna have a lot of hard feelings in the industry. People are gonna be divided. It's gonna be like going through a divorce and who gets to keep the friends, who gets to keep the dog, who gets to keep the Paula and the Matt. Like, these are gonna be actual, like, things that we're gonna kinda see here in the next week or so, and Chaz Marler still hasn't responded, and I don't know if he would. I wouldn't if I was him, I suppose. I would just, just go on as business as usual. If you're a publisher and you want what I'm offering, then great. If you don't want what I'm offering, then that's fine. Move on. So I don't know. I am torn on how this all went down. It does feel a little. I mean, I don't want to make presumptions about anybody in this case. It does sound like they tried to talk about it off camera, but it didn't get the results that Rodney went. So he went to divide himself and say, hey, I am not part of this. I just want a separation from this. Could he have done it better? Maybe. In my opinion, it could have been a little less heavy handed. It could have been a little bit more like, I'm going to give Chaz, my friend, the benefit of the doubt. But I don't know. He did what he did. It's out there for you to see and judge for yourself. But yeah, I'd be interested to know, what do you guys think, and who is ultimately responsible for those advertisement bucks? Does Chaz Marler have a responsibility to explain to the publishers how views on YouTube works, or does the publishers have a responsibility to know that already? And then does Rodney Smith have a responsibility to say, hey, I want everybody to know that Chaz Marler is doing this? And I almost guarantee you that other people are doing this too. Like, why wouldn't you? If you didn't know there was anything wrong with it, it just seems like a way to gain an audience. I don't know, guys. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? And until next time, we'll see you around the board.